That's nice. All right, good morning, everyone. Today I'm out at the Blue Mountains on one of their many tracks. Today I'm on the Water Nymphs Dell track. It's on all trails, said that it wasn't really traveled that much, so you're less likely to run into people, which is true. I'm the only one that's out here by this beautiful waterfall, which is the Nymphs Dell, I guess you would say. And I pretty much came out today because I, one, want to go on a couple bush hikes. I've got a few others I'm doing today. I'm going to go into Katoomba and spend some time in the town. And I brought a bit of my gear out to shoot with. Today I brought out my Sony a7 IV with the Sony 20mm f1.8. And one of the reasons why I brought it out is it is a wider lens. It's the widest lens I own. I don't have a 16 or a 14 or a 10 or a 9 or anything like that. So it's the widest field of view that I can actually get. Ooh, that sounds like a train. But I decided to bring that out because I want to get these wide shots of the waterfall, as well as you can see behind me, I'm currently in a bit of an under cavern, I guess you'd call it. It's not quite a cave, it's more just inside of the rocky cliff face. And so using the 20mm is a fantastic lens for getting these wider shots. I do have the 35 prime with me as well, and I'm currently shooting using my 24-70 because normally when I do these talking heads, I use the 20mm 1.8. Alright, so let's pick you up. I'm going to show you the waterfall because it's just over there, and I've already taken some shots from up here, but I wonder if you can see it just there behind me. Not quite, because it's focusing on me. So this is a shot of the waterfall that I took just before on my 20mm. I'll put up the picture as well. And you can actually go down there where you can get these upshots of the waterfall itself. So what I'm actually going to do is we are going to go down to the bottom there, hopefully. I don't think it's too full. Usually after some rain, you can't go down there because, well, it's flooded. It's a river, and the waterfall kind of fills it all up. So we are going to go down. I've actually brought my ND filters because what I want to try and get with my 20mm is a slow exposure shot, a long exposure shot, so I can make the water kind of like smooth into itself to make one long streak, rather than a high speed shutter shot to get the individual droplets that are falling. So let's head down. One thing that I've learned very early on while hiking is to check for spiders, because you could be the very first person coming out in your bushwalk, and that means you are the person that will deal with every spider web along the trail. And so that is what, unfortunately, I've been dealing with all morning. But that's what you do to get the early start and get the place to yourself. But luckily, this last bit here doesn't have any spider webs. So here we are, and it's not, whoop, that's a spider web. Damn it. Oh, and one on my head, so can't avoid it, but here we are. That's pretty good. So we made it all the way down to the bottom of this beautiful gorge where this water is. And you can go swimming here. There's actually another footpath that goes up the top there. I think it goes to a lookout or the end of the trail, but I don't go up there because it's a dead end, and I don't really think you go high enough for there to be a view. But let's set up, and I'm going to start taking some photos and hope that my 20mm is wide enough, because I'm very close. So I'm going to set you up over here. Alright, so I'm going to put up the photos that I just took as test shots to show you sort of the angle that I've got. And luckily the 20mm is wide enough, and I'm pretty close. Honestly, I'm maybe, I don't know, 10 meters from the waterfall. I could walk up, touch it. You can actually walk up and go under it. I might do that, maybe get a self-portrait, I don't know. But, so you'll be seeing the shots that I've taken right now, and I get plenty of room, and even when I duck down and get some of the sand in the foreground, I can still reach the top of the actual waterfall as well. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put on my ND filters, because even though it's quite dark down here and we've got a lot of like tree cover and cloud, it's a bit of an overcast day with patches of sun coming in. It's still way too bright for me to stop down to about 1/8 of a second, which I can do comfortably handheld, or something like even lower than that, 0.5 of a second if I really want to try and get that buttery smooth waterfall, which is kind of what I'm going for today. So the ND filters that I use, I actually bought them online from a company called Earth, and I got this little pack, which if it focuses, there it is, which I actually got, and it comes with an ND level 2 all the way up to 64, 128, and then 1000. So we're going to chuck on the 64, and we're going to see how that goes to begin with. Something that I actually really like about the Earth ND filters that I got is they have this front cap and back cap, so I don't have to put them in a pouch and worry about extra bulk or bigness to protect them. They actually just come in this, and it's very sturdy, and it just goes in my pocket. I can carry them around pretty much wherever I want because I don't have to worry about extra size for a soft case. They've got that hard cap on either end, which is pretty nice. All right, we've got our ND filter on there, pretty strong. Let's see how it goes, see if we can get some smooth shots. I'm going to shoot right now, I'm going to shoot at 1/8 of a second. And if that looks nice, I might swap the camera off of the tripod here and set up properly and go even slower. I don't know if you can see, but I'm actually going to show you. This is a great spot to shoot a model because at this time of day, and it's like, I want to say 10:30, I'm going to zoom you in. I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but there is this incredible light that is just hitting the waterfall perfectly. And it's actually almost like exactly where you'd want to put a model for a model shoot with the waterfall. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's this light that goes down, and then right there where you'd sit a model or someone, that has light just on that, whereas the edges here are darkened, almost like a natural vignetting. I don't know about you, but that's pretty incredible. The hard thing is convincing someone to come down the incredibly steep, spider-infested nature walk to get shots there, but that's beautiful. I'll put the shots up of what I got so far. I'm pretty happy with the 1/8. I don't think it's slow enough. And I stopped down a little bit to under a second, an entire second, but now we get camera shake from the fact that I'm hand holding it. So I'm actually going to take this camera off, take you off the tripod, and probably set you down somewhere, hopefully safe. And I'm going to set up the tripod with this and get a proper long exposure. All right, so I've got my tripod set up with my A7 IV on it with the 20mm, and I've set up the settings. So we have got it at 2.5 of a second. We're at f4, ISO down at 100, and we're trying to get all of that in the one shot. So I'm going to put it on a timer as well, so I avoid any shutter shake. I like to go for a 5-second timer. Heck, I'd even go for a 10. I'm a bit worried that I'm cutting off the top of the waterfall a little bit up here. Don't know if you can see that, a little bit up there, but there's not really too much I can do. I could bring up the camera a little bit and tilt it back a bit, but we'll try this shot first. All right, let's see how we go. It could probably go a bit slower, but it all smooths in the way that I want it, and we actually kind of get a bit of a reflection in the water too, which is really cool. I wonder if I can go slower than that. So I'm going to bring up my aperture to f5, up to 6.3, and then I'm going to slow it down to 6 of a second, I think it is. Not 1/6. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, I think that looks really good. I wonder what would happen if I went even longer. But I really like that because there's almost a mist effect on the water that's not pooling, that's sort of like just streaking down before it hits the next rock. That's definitely much nicer. So I'm pretty happy with that shot. I don't think I needed to go down as slow as 30 seconds. That was probably a bit over generous of me. But I did the other two shots a few times and I've got a shot I quite like. And you've probably already seen them now. But what I'm doing is I'm also going to be getting the same shot, slightly different angle, I guess, in a horizontal orientation. Because sure enough, we could say, well, we need it for the gram. But, you know, I post plenty of Instagram photos that are in landscape mode because I put a white border around them. That's the way I like presenting my work. So go check out my work on Instagram. I'll leave the, my handle in the description below. But one reason why I think it's important to think about landscape and horizontal photos outside of social media is some photos are, I guess, more well suited for that type of photo. When we look at a landscape, we're looking at a photo that goes from one side across to the other. So this one, for example, the bottom rocks, we could say, is more of the subject, and that's going from one side across to the other with all the foliage. But at the end of the day, this is a waterfall that is going from top to bottom. So that is more of a horizontal image. And so what I've done is I'm going to take that photo as well. All right, so yes, I've got the camera set up now. Luckily, my tripod can easily go into horizontal mode with the ball head. Let's take the photo. We've got the same similar settings. I've gone down to 1/5 of a second. We're at f5, and with a 5-second timer, let's just readjust the focus. I want it on that waterfall. So I might even go into and change that to a medium size so you just know it's there. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at it. How did that come out? Yes, yeah, much like the horizontal, because it gets the top part where the sky starts to come back into it. You easily get more of the foreground water with a reflection. And then, yes, I'm pretty happy with the settings because you can see that the water itself is all connected along the way. Even in these parts where it starts to really spread out, you can see that it almost creates this misting effect. And I think that is a great shot. Now, as much as I really do want to get up there and take a photo of myself, I'm going to try and set up the Creator app on my A7 IV. I don't know if it's going to work without like a Wi-Fi connection or the distance, but we're going to set it up. We're going to do a little test. I'll take some more detail shots that I'll post while I'm getting that ready. And where possible, because my yellow jacket stands out pretty well, I reckon I can go up top, I can walk around, and I can position myself where I reckon a model would be. You might normally do this with like a 7200 or obviously a wide shot to get the landscape, but that is just it's a beautiful shot. And I'd love to, I came all the way down. I'd love to take a photo of myself. At least it's nice, one of the worst things about the Creator app is the second you touch the camera, it disconnects from the app. It's okay. I think I'm just checking, Sony. I'm just checking. I don't want to disconnect. I just want to check on the camera that the phone did the thing. It's fine, but it's also not. This should work, and now we're going to climb up there and take a photo of myself in this nice jacket with that nice light. Just behind the waterfall. Incredible. I'm definitely going to come up here and take some photos with the 20 after we do the shot. So I'll put those shots up now, but they were after this this part was recorded. And let's go over there where that sunlight is beaming down. This is just beautiful. This is pretty incredible. Wow. I've never really been behind a waterfall properly. It's beautiful. Let's see if the Creator app managed to hang on to connection from this far. I'm definitely coming up here with the 20 to take some more shots though. All right, good. The app didn't close. I'm probably really overexposed down here. I can see myself. Look, I'll show you. It's a bit hard to see actually, it's so ridiculous. Let's just take the shot as is with me vlogging essentially. All right, so 3, 2, 1. I think it's done. Yeah, I want to say that got that. So I'm reviewing the photos and They are terrible. And also, I only got 3, but I could have sworn I took about 8 and changed a lot of settings. So maybe the app didn't work in the changing the settings. I couldn't quite tell if I was taking a photo. I was just hoping that by pressing the shutter button on my phone, it was going to do the thing it's meant to do. So the app's not super reliable, but I'm glad I tried it. Yeah. But why the 20mm? Really, at the end of the day, the real reason you could have seen is it captures this whole area. And that's the main thing. It's a fantastic lens. I use it for vlogging a lot. The fact that I'm using 24 right now, normally I'm like this far back and it's more comfortable and I have more room. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a very reliable lens. I take it with me on nearly every trip that I go on, and that's not because I use it a lot, but it's because there are really important times where I want to use it. Sometimes I go out with my 35 or this 24, and for a landscape shot, that's perfectly fine. Like, it's wide enough because the landscape is just so huge. But it's times like this where I go, the 35 is just too close. So I'll show you. Look, this is you at 24. And if I line you up with the actual camera, there is a huge difference between this in landscape and what we shot before. And then let's rotate, and this is going to be a nightmare for YouTube, but that's not too bad at 24, but then put that into 35, and you're cutting the top off, you're losing the actual foreground, you bring it back to landscape. I mean, it's good if you just want to focus on like a model there, or just that section of rock. But at the end of the day, having that wider lens is so helpful, and I honestly just love it. It's probably one of Sony's best lenses. It's so underrated because you can do so much with it. And compared to their expensive lenses like the G Masters I own, that thing does a great job. So look, I'm gonna end the video here. That's your 20mm with a bit of wide angle shots. I'll put in a few more shots I got along the walk back on the 20mm. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's something that you're interested in, I'm trying to go out hiking more. I'm trying to do more day walks where I go and I photograph parts of Australian national parks and state forests and capturing the nature around us. So follow for more. See you in the next video.